The impact was catastrophic. 4 of the 5 were decapitated.
Fuck! We are checking out most painful construction deaths ever by Talking Hat.
Fair change.
Across the United States are large industrial iron foundries that use molten iron to produce things like engine blocks, frames, and structural components for cars and buildings. At the Caterpillar Mapleton foundry in Illinois, molten iron is melted at nearly 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit.
Cause what if that shit just slapped your thigh meat, bro?
Hot enough to obliterate human flesh in an instant. For the workers at this factory, the foundry floor is a place where
in an instant? I'm clumsy as fuck, bro. I'm clumsy as a bitch. That nigga said 2,000 degrees Celsius. It's going through your body. And it's cauterizing the wound. No, I'm good, bro. I'm not trying to cash in my clumsy points working at that job. I've already cashed in my clumsy points working at a restaurant before on opening day, bro. Fry basket landed in degrees, covered both of my arms. I had 2nd and 3rd degree burns on both my arms. I was out this bitch looking like Rock Lee gang.
one wrong step means certain doom. So it's of utmost importance that each crew member moves with caution 100% of the time.
Yeah,
on June
bro,
2nd, a 39-year-old man would be working his 5th day at his new job. He was tasked with retrieving a sample of molten iron for testing. He spun down a giant metal wheel that caused the molten iron to pour out of the vat.
Nah, bro.
Afterwards, he leaned over the boiling hot iron. He got close. Like really, really close.
Nah, cause like, why would you do that?
And then liquid molten iron popped and exploded all over his face.
He ain't got no face no more. Why did he get so close to look over and that bitch bubbled up and on his stupid ass? He ain't got no face no more.
I'm kidding. He successfully retrieved his sample of iron and returned back to his manager.
You got me.
Unluckily, however, he'd somehow slip on the stage and partially fall back into the molten vat of iron.
Oh, that's
He tried
worse.
to escape, but it was impossible.
Oh,
Half of
that's
his body was
worse.
in, half of it was out. And before you know it, in an instant, he was consumed by the roaring orange abyss. Witnesses described what happened as beyond comprehension. He passed away instantly, but not all of him was consumed.
That was part of, oh my God. And that's not even the worst of it. That's rough. I see the scale on the top left. That's rough. That's it? Got turned into soup. And you say that's just rough?
Part of his body remained on the steel deck for the coroner to
Not the Gojo. I know that frame anywhere, bro. Not Gojo, dog.
retrieve. Emergency crews rushed in, but it was already way too late. There was no saving him.
That nigga
The foundry quickly
he got turned into some bolts, bro. That's nuts. My fault. My fault. I ain't gonna do it no more.
shut down, investigations were launched, and then questions arose. How could a man with so little training be placed so close to one of the most dangerous areas of the factory? It was literally his 5th.
He didn't have any training? It was his 9th day on the job? No, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna continue to do these YouTube videos and hopefully this pop off. I'm not 9th day. Got turned into a variety pack of screwdrivers, bro. No, I'm not doing that. Rest in peace.
Day on the job. For his colleagues, it was not the first time they'd seen such horror. Just a year earlier, another worker had passed away at the same plant after a similar fall. And now,
Then why the
yet again,
fuck?
a worker's life had been cut short in the most violent way imaginable.
That's
In factories
crazy.
like these, safety isn't just a guideline, it's survival. When molten metal waits beneath your feet, there's no second chance. One misstep and you're
I'm not doing construction ever. I don't care how bad life gets, bro. If life ever get this bad, y'all gonna see me on the next power slap, bro.
gone in an instant. The cable incident. It was just after noon at
This
the
is
Whitworth
terrible.
Sawmill in East Texas. The
Oh,
air was thick
sawmill.
with the
Oh no, this giving me Final Destination, bro. Oh Lord.
grind of machines, the smell of fresh cut pine, and the heat of men working hard to keep the mill alive. But inside, 4 men were locked in a struggle with a jammed wood chip machine. To free it, they turned to the heavy steel cable
He got the Michael Myers treatment. The only difference is Mike Myers survived. He got turned into party confetti. Oh no.
that wound its way around the gears. They pulled, adjusted, and worked the line, hoping to break the machine loose. And then, in an instant, disaster struck.
Fuck.
After working the cable for what felt like forever, they had stretched it out to the point that it extended itself like a bow and tightened back on one of the men. Upon pulling the cable and stretching it back out again to free the man, it finally snapped.
Oh!
Stored energy released with the speed of a bullet and the force of a guillotine. It whipped across the work area with deadly precision, striking all 5 men at once. The impact was catastrophic. 4 of the 5 were decapitated.
Fuck! And the animation don't make it no better, bro.
The 5th man got lucky. He was thrown away to the side and the bones in his leg got shattered, but thankfully his life was spared. For the men who witnessed it, the scene was indescribable. One moment, their co-workers were fighting with...
I guess you can say he was ahead of the game, you know, because the other 4 got decapitated. I know I said I was done making bad jokes. Now I'm done making bad jokes.
some stupid jammed machine. The next second, the floor was silent and each of their bodies stood upright in their same positions with a crucial detail missing. The ground was littered with helmets, sawdust, and bodies. When EMTs arrived at the scene, they were obviously only able to save the man with the injured leg. The sleeve incident. In a cavernous factory in
This one's called That's Horrifying. The sleeve incident.
Russia, cameras were quietly watching a scene that would later horrify the world. On the floor stood a massive horizontal lathe. The machine was giant.
Oh no. I'm putting my parlay on. He got wrung out. He got stuck on the wheel and kept spinning. Oh nah, bro. He got hit with a terrible tornado, bro. No, bro.
And its steel cylinder was rotating with an unstoppable force. It was a machine built to carve through metal itself. A Russian man tasked with running the machinery froze upon seeing it. For a couple of moments, he would just squint deeply at the machine, closely inspecting it. His posture was casual, and then from casual, it grew curious.
Why?
Although it's not entirely clear what it was, the man noticed something wrong with the machine, but after inspecting it,
it was a person on there.
And then he came back because his curiosity got the best of him. Something was obviously wrong with the machine, so he went in for another look. It was then that he realized that he had been inspecting the wrong thing all along. His gaze shifted from the machine to the ceiling above it, and he
Fire him. He's drunk.
was astonished with what he saw. He was right. There was a bit of a leak dripping down from the ceiling onto the machine. A sigh of relief came from the man as he became relieved that he had figured out the issue. As he began leaving to retrieve items to fix the leak, he quickly realized another, more concerning issue. His sleeve was stuck. And just like that, in a heartbeat, everything changed. The man was yanked into the spinning machine. His body slammed between the cylinder and the base, whipping around with such force.
I said fire him. Nah. Rest in peace. My bad, bro. My bad, bro.
That he looked like a rag doll in the grip of a hurricane. The lathe spun faster and faster. First his shoes would fly off, then pieces of his flesh, then chunks, then his limbs. And before you knew it, he was turned into a mist. The camera captured it all. There was no time for rescue or hope of survival.
Oh my
Moments
God.
later, another worker in full protective gear entered from the side. He froze at the sight he saw. Red trails, shredded remains, and a stained room.
That's horrible.
He lifted his hands in complete frustration, then dropped them in despair. The unfiltered camera footage spread across the internet, shocking millions before being digitally wiped away.
It was so bad y'all got rid of the footage. And folks wants to see it. We live in a crazy world, bro. You can just scroll Twitter and find stuff of this caliber, bro. That's insane to me.
The experts pointed out the obvious in this case. Don't wear loose clothing around machines like these, and always keep a safe distance between them. The roller incident.
Nightmare.
It was just after
It
noon
gets
at
worse.
a factory in the Saint Laurent borough of Montreal. The facility specialized in recycling plastic. Massive machines churned endlessly, crushing and shaping materials with unstoppable force.
Yeah.
For workers, the rhythm of the rollers was just another part of the day. Clock
All right.
in, crush and churn, go to sleep, repeat. Except for this day. On August 8th, 2016, at around 12:15 p.m., a 56-year-old employee noticed a piece of plastic jammed in the roller machine.
So he tried to
Determined
pick
to
it
keep
up
the
and got
line and the rhythm of his
turned
job
into
moving,
a paper
he climbed
towel.
up a ladder and reached in to pull it free. As you
But-
could guess, while trying to perform this extremely dangerous task, the rollers would pinch his finger. He'd scream in pain and try to yank it out, but in a split second, his
It
hand
rolled
was
him.
caught and effectively crushed. Unfortunately, that wouldn't even be the worst part.
It gets
The
worse.
rollers dragged him in, pulling his body into the
One could say that he got turned to a pack. That was disrespectful. He didn't deserve that. That's my fault. I lied to y'all twice. I'm my father's son. He told me he was coming back from the gas station, never came back. So like, I really might be that nigga.
unforgiving gear crushing machines. First his hand was sucked in, then his arm, then his head, and then his chest. His torso became wedged into the entry space of 12
Oh my
centimeters
God.
before co-workers rushed to stop the machine.
Oh
But
my
by the time
God.
it halted, his body sat deeply jammed in between a space no bigger than a clenched fist.
His body was jammed into a space no bigger than a clenched fist.
Insanely enough, however, he was actually pulled out of the machine alive. Despite his body being
What?
crushed and broken beyond repair, emergency responders rushed him to the hospital in critical condition, but there really wasn't much doctors could do. The man
Not
was
at all.
literally flattened, so sadly, he succumbed to his injuries shortly after.
Yeah. With that being said, stick to your dreams of being a content creator. You might as well just make the link, shorty. You might as well, or you're gonna be getting flattened in another way. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.